Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PreStream podcast. Today is Monday, the 23rd of May, 2022, and I'm Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to my final consecutive day of streaming for the week, that is. Tomorrow is my day off after 6 straight days of full-time streaming, and I'm looking forward to it. Going to have a more relaxing day with my wife and family. But before we get there, we got another day of fun and good stuff coming up, and I'm excited for today for sure. Although, today we have some more serious topics to discuss here on the PreStream podcast. Notably, a couple issues that have arisen over the last week that I'd like to either get to the bottom of or try to determine how we're going to handle them. The problems involve the continuation and future of my WWE 2K22 playthrough, which it seems is now starting to have nearly endless issues on YouTube. In addition, last night, we seem to have some issues with gifted memberships on the channel out of nowhere. They had been working all week, and then we saw this weird thing happen where someone tried to gift memberships and it didn't work. And no one's sure what happened there because they worked, like, on my end, there's no sign of anything going wrong. It just seems to be a weird thing. Some people have had some theories, and we're going to talk about them this morning and maybe try to get to the bottom of that, okay? Outside of that stuff, that's definitely more related to my channel and content. Of course, we've got some news to talk about today. More big picture news regarding Activision Blizzard and the efforts of some of their employees to unionize, which is kind of interesting. So we got a variety of stuff to chat about, all right? And of course, we got some fun gameplay coming today with more Skyrim chill fun. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, I think I really just want to relax today. We'll talk about that when we get to the Skyrim stuff. But I think I want to have a more relaxing day where maybe we just go to points on the map that I haven't been to yet and just kind of see what they are. Maybe there's dungeons, run through them. I don't really feel like doing anything too major plot related. I think after doing all that DLC stuff for a while, for like 2 weeks there, I'm kind of a little burnt out on story. And I just kind of want like a major chill stream of Skyrim today if possible. Maybe with a lot of interactions and talking and everything. We'll see. But anyway, tonight as well, Zelda. Oh, I'm excited for that. Like, I'm really pumped to continue Zelda Link to the Past. The playthrough so far has been great. So we got a lot of good stuff coming today, for sure. So where do you start, right? Like, where do we begin here when it comes to all this stuff? Let's see. Because okay, how about this? Let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about returning to Uncharted 2 after a very long time, and then we'll talk a little bit about the glitch that seems to have happened with gifted memberships during that stream, okay? Well, that's where we'll begin today. Why not? So last night, for the first time in 13 freaking years, I returned to Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. I've not played this game since it launched in October of 2009, and back then I was a much different person and a much different style of content creator. We had a camera pointed at a freaking television trying to record it. It sounded absolutely terrible. But people liked that because I was one of the few guys back then doing full-length, improv-style commentary, let's plays, or video game playthroughs, as I called them. People found my commentary style very interesting and funny, and people liked the playthrough, despite the fact that it looked terrible. I was very popular back in the day just recording crap with my camera. And I have not played Uncharted 2 since then. Since then, there have been many other Uncharted games that I've played, including Uncharted 3, Uncharted 4, Uncharted Lost Legacy, and I even went back and replayed Uncharted 1 for YouTube as well. All of those, I believe, are, you know what, now that I'm thinking about that, I don't think Uncharted 3 was direct capture either. I think Uncharted 3 happened right before I adopted direct capture. Yeah, by a few months there. So anyway, it was fun last night, let me tell you. Returning to this game after so many years, I really didn't remember much. I kind of remembered the very first segment, and that was it. Already, I'm running into problems because this is a 2009 game, and it has weird things in it like, oh, instead of just killing all the enemies, there's 4 bombs that are glowing that you have to arm. I'm like, where are they? Why am I doing this? Like, it seems weird, but back then in games, like, they would give you these kind of busy work stuff to add in gameplay elements that then were never seen again because, like, you'll never do that ever again in the playthrough. So, it was kind of funny to see me struggle, honestly. I was like, oh, what is this? I don't remember any of this. But anyway, it went really well. People showed up. People engaged like crazy. Support was decent. We didn't hit any major tips goals or anything like that. But at the very same time, you know, there was a good amount of support. Like I said, we might have had more support if this gifted memberships glitch apparently didn't happen, although I don't know if it's a glitch. So let's talk about it. Let's just address it now and get it out of the way, since it's going to be the elephant in the room. It happened last night, and everyone was very confused. So for those who don't know, or we want a little bit of reference here, earlier this week, DSPGaming got the feature on YouTube to have gifted memberships. This means that you can gift a membership to other viewers, and they benefit. Okay, they get all the features of a gifted membership, like a highlighted name, access to all my emotes, a chat crown badge, all those features. Okay, this has been huge. It's helped this channel immensely. At the beginning of this week, when we started on Wednesday, I had 380 members. I now have 522. I've gotten over 100 gifted memberships in the last week, and that also, excuse me, that also urged people to also become members themselves. When they saw everyone else becoming a member around them, some people re-upped their memberships as well. So huge help to the channel. I mean, is it real growth? No, not really. At the same time, as I've already stated, when we used to have gifted subs back on Twitch, what would happen is for like every 10 people who was gifted a sub, 1 people would enjoy it because it would be like having a free trial. Oh, I have all the benefits of being a subscriber for a month. I like the emotes. I like this feature, that feature. And then they would decide to keep renewing it, and it could cause real growth on my channel. I mean, over there, I started out at the bottom. I started with 200, 300 subs, and by the time that I was done on Twitch last year, I had over 800 as regular subs. Okay? So, good morning, Mika. So, here, this is great. I've been here for a year on YouTube full-time streaming, and there hasn't been any gifted memberships. All of a sudden, I got them. So this week was tremendously positive in that regard. And yes, all these gifted memberships will absolutely help the business and the channel and everything long term. Thank you for that. But then last night, something weird happened. Okay, so I'm playing Uncharted. We're all having a good time. And someone named I Am Kazam, who has already gifted memberships earlier in the week, wanted to drop a membership bomb of 5 memberships, nice respectable amount, to the viewers. There were quite a lot of viewers on last night's stream who were not members. I just want to clarify that. It wasn't like, oh, everyone on the stream was already a member, right? That wasn't the case at all. In this case, there were tons of people who were newcomers coming to just watch this playthrough, all right? So, I Am Kazam does a 5-member gift, and it shows up on the screen just like normal. There's a pop-up that happens that says, oh, I Am Kazam has gifted 5 memberships. Now, typically what happens when someone gifts a membership is within moments, people start to get them. And right underneath it, it'll start to show you the people who got those gifted memberships, okay? And then I'll shout out the names. And then also, there's a queue over here. And in this queue, I have a listing of all of the contributions that I have that come through while I'm streaming. And in this case, you know, I'm looking at it, and it had said, oh, you know, I Am Kazam gifted, and here's the 5. I said, oh, okay. So I clicked on it because I wanted to shout out the people who were going to get the memberships. And all of a sudden, the screen blinks, and it disappears. I was like, huh? That hasn't happened before. So I looked over at my chat, because usually in the chat, as people start to get the memberships, it'll show their individual names. I'm going to shout them out. There's nothing. I was like, huh? And everyone in chat was the same way. We were like, huh? What happened? What's going on? It's like disappearing. So I Am Kazam goes, I don't know what just happened. He says, I got a receipt, like he had spent the money to get the memberships. But he says then he looked and they didn't charge him. He got a receipt as if he had been charged for the memberships. But then when he checked his account, he had never been charged. Huh? So everyone was just here like scratching our heads like, what just happened? And no one knows. The thing is, there's been some theories. So some people were saying, oh, maybe there just weren't enough people on the stream who had opted in to get the gifted membership. So allow me to explain this, all right? Because it's very confusing. Over on Twitch, if someone drops a subscriber bomb, you don't have to do anything. You'll just get it. In fact, there's some cases where people I've never been on their streams before, I got gifted memberships to their, or excuse me, gifted subs to their streams. You don't have to be actively on the stream. If you historically have data showing that you're a viewer of that stream, you could just be gifted a sub if someone drops a sub bomb on that channel. Okay? Now here on YouTube, apparently it's different. here on YouTube, from what I'm understanding, again, this is all of us just trying to learn the process over the last week. There's no fact explaining this anywhere on YouTube properly. There's just half information and misinformation. No one really understands how this works because these gifted memberships are still in beta, okay? Supposedly what happens is, when you see someone gifting memberships, if you are not opting in to get it, you will see some kind of a message on your screen that will say, hey, someone's gifting memberships. If you want to be eligible for this membership, click here. And you have to actively say, yes, I want to be eligible for the membership. And then what happens is, if someone then gifts memberships, you may get one. It basically puts you into like a lottery system. Okay? Now, from what I'm to understand, and I don't know if this is true or not, the more that you watch a streamer, the more that you engage with their content, meaning liking a stream, talking in a chat, etc. Apparently, these are metrics that YouTube uses to calculate whether or not someone should actually get a gifted membership or not. Excuse me, I'm punching my mic here. So if you are a more active viewer and you watch all my stuff, you should have a higher increased chance to get a gifted membership over someone who just dropped in today. Okay? Again, this is all hypothetical. There's no concrete evidence of any of it because YouTube launched the beta and they didn't provide any data on this. Okay? So, last night, is that what happened? Because last night, admittedly, I know there was a lot of newcomers to the stream who aren't regulars who were on here, and maybe they weren't opted in to receive the gifted membership. Or maybe they were. Maybe this was a glitch. Maybe because this is in beta, there's an issue, a glitch, where it doesn't work. Now, what I can tell you is I have looked in all of my dashboards and everything. Everything appears to be fine on my end. I didn't get any notice saying, oh, gifted memberships aren't working for you anymore or were disabled or anything like that. To my knowledge, it just works. Okay? So, there's not like any action I can take or anything. And I wish that I could I wish there was a way to report something like this to YouTube and say, hey, this happened and, can you give feedback? I don't think there is anything like that right now. So, here's the deal. Until someone decides that they want to try to gift memberships to the channel again, we have absolutely no way to tell if they work or not. All I can say is if you're opted in, good luck. Hopefully you'll get one. And hopefully if someone tries to gift maybe today, or by the way, 522, the new record high for memberships. So thank you guys so much. Anyone who became a member or gifted a membership in the last week, I mean, holy crap, we're at a record high right now. And yes, this is helping. This will absolutely help long term. Okay. See, we have some people in the chat now saying, no, I was opted in last night and I didn't get it. So again, I don't know what caused it. I Am Kazam had gifted memberships earlier in the week. You would think, oh, some people are surmising, oh, maybe it was that it was his financial institution denied it or something. I don't think so. I think to me, it sounds like a weird glitch or a situation that hopefully won't replicate, but I don't know. Again, there's no way we will know until someone actually tries to gift another membership. If someone tries to gift another membership and it goes through, great. If not, I guess we got to try to gather this data and try to see if there's a commonality between it happening. I don't know. Again, it's a beta program. In a beta program, you're bound to run into shit like this, okay? But at the very least, at least a lot of people in the last week got the gifted memberships, and even if they die and they don't work anymore, I guess what are you going to do, right? I don't know. Mika, I don't know about the opt-in system. I can't opt in because it's my own channel, so I have no idea how it works. Because Mika's saying, oh, does it work on mobile? How does it work? I can't answer that. I have no access to that system because I'm the streamer, you see? Okay, so anyway, if someone attempts to gift memberships today, let me know. I should see it. Like, we did see the message on screen, and it went away. So maybe if, I should be able to hopefully see it initially if someone tries it and go from there. But it just seems like a weird situation. Seriously, like, I hope it works, but I guess there's no guarantee it's going to work, okay? All right, so anyway, Uncharted 2 last night was great. I uploaded the videos, and I got a Content ID claim. However, it's not that bad because this is the good news. Unlike other Content ID claims that I've gotten, which we're about to discuss, okay, this Content ID claim actually did things in a reasonable and legal manner. What do I mean by that? Well, most of the time, if you upload a video to YouTube and it gets content ID claimed by someone, whether it's for visual or audio reasons, they will either take all of the money you make on that video for themselves, which doesn't make any legal sense. If you used a piece of someone's work in your own, why do they think they own your entire work? Legally, that has no leg to stand on and would never, ever be successful in court. That's ridiculous. Or they block your shit. They just block the whole goddamn thing. Well, fuck you. You used a clip of my song. Fuck you in your video. Block that shit on YouTube. No one can ever see it ever again. In this case, neither of those happened. Here's what happened. As I booted up Uncharted 2, it played the title screen theme, Nate's theme. And when it did that, YouTube caught that song and said, oh, that we know the company that owns the rights to that song. And essentially, they granted a partial rights of my video to the people who made that song. Now, it still did it incorrectly. It flagged it as a cover song, meaning they thought that I was sitting here with a guitar playing Nathan Drake's theme song and that I should owe some rights, licensing rights or whatever it may be, advertising money to the company whose song I'm playing. That's not what happened. I'm doing a Let's Play. It should be fully protected under fair use, but am I really going to sit here and argue with this? You know what I mean? Like, do I want to sit here and dispute it legally and then have to go back and forth with this company? The answer is no. And the good news is they only claimed part of the revenue. What does that mean? This is what every content ID on YouTube should literally do. It should be not, oh, we block your video or we steal everything off from your video. It should be, okay, you use some of our content, we're going to share. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. I would never complain about that. I've told you guys over the years, right, that if anything, if it ever went to court, if a company said, oh, you used our content to make your own content, they are entitled to a portion of the revenue from that work. Not all of it, and they're definitely not entitled to block it. So, yes, this is exactly how Content ID should work, and it actually did work that way with Uncharted. Now, you guys can watch it. It's live for everyone worldwide. There's zero issues with the video. And now, I make a little bit, the makers of the song make a little bit, or the people who actually own the rights to the song make a little bit. Everyone wins, right? Why can't every single time Content ID is employed on YouTube, why can't it be like that? You know what that tells me? These companies don't understand DMCA law, they don't understand copyright law, and they just abuse the system because it's there to be abused, and YouTube is too stupid to actually make it work. Because YouTube designed the system. They can literally just say, okay, if you claim it, you get part of the revenue. And that's it. The only case ever where a company should be able to either fully claim or block your video is if it is a straight rip and re-upload. If someone says, oh, the trailer for the new, what movie is coming out soon? What's the new Marvel movie coming out? Now I'm having a brain fart. I know there's one. Oh, the trailer for Black Panther 2. Let's say it drops on YouTube tomorrow and some asshole rips it off the Marvel page and puts it right on theirs to be a bunch of dicks, right? Then yes, I fully legally feel that they should be able to block or claim all the revenue off your video. You just stole their shit. You see what I'm saying? But they should never have the right, when you've used a piece of anyone's work in your own, they should never have the right to block or take everything off of your video. Legally, it doesn't stand, but no one's going to sue YouTube for a faulty Content ID system. No one has the money to go up against Google to do it. Like I told you guys, what I feel is going to end up happening is that eventually there's going to be a class action lawsuit, and it's going to go through and win. Because Google's not going to want to fuck with this. They're not going to want to have to prove that every single Content ID claim they've ever done abided by DMCA law. So they're just going to settle, and then they're going to fix their system. But it's going to take a while for someone to sue them for it. Okay? So anyway, I was happy. I saw the claim. I'm like, wait, it says it's claimed, but it's fine. What's that? And I clicked on it and explained the details. I was like, this is exceptionally good. Let every video be like this from now on. I will never complain about Content ID if this is the case. I would be happy if my videos were like that. Seriously. So to whoever owns the rights to the soundtrack of Uncharted, I applaud you for having brains, doing the morally right thing, the legally right thing, and actually going about this the right way. okay? Because we're about to talk about a way that it was not done properly in just a moment. And I'm going to show you the evidence, and you're going to say, what the fuck? All right. But anyway, let's now talk about the schedule for the rest of the week, and then let's talk about that content ID claim that is in regards to my WWE 2K22 playthrough, which we have to decide this morning if I'm going to keep playing the game or not. All right? All right. So here we go. So, today, Skyrim Anniversary Edition on the first stream. I'm excited for this. Like I said, I'm thinking I want to treat it more just like a chill experience. I'm not really looking to do anything major story-wise today. I know there's tons of areas on the map I haven't explored yet that are great. You know, you can see they're like black, not gray, because you didn't investigate them yet. So I'm thinking we'll do maybe some of those. And or a lot of miscellaneous quests that I have kind of sitting around that we can maybe do. I'm thinking of doing some of that stuff today. I really just want to kind of relax with you guys today. Have a nice de-stress stream. And I want to have a lot of conversation as well. I'm in that mood. I'm in a talky mood today to talk with you guys. So I hope you guys are up for that. I'm up for that today. Okay? Then on the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it's the continuation of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past with some improvement because someone did actually, after the last stream, okay? After the last stream, all right? I got feedback from people, and the feedback we're saying was basically, hey, your stream had these empty sides because when you play Zelda, of course, it's a 4:3 aspect ratio. It's a square, not a wide screen. There's no widescreen SNES games, right? And someone said, hey, it's so empty on the sides. So someone actually made me a couple of borders that we're going to implement starting tonight. We'll use one tonight, and I think I have two of them that I can alternate between when I play Zelda. So it'll look a little better tonight, which is cool. I'm looking forward to this. When I played it last, I mean, I made lots of progress. I beat the intro and 2 first dungeons, got the first 2 pendants, ended up getting a lot of the items and things in the game, a few optional things. I have a whole optional heart, and I also have things like the ice rod and stuff like that. So good progress so far in the playthrough, and I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm really getting that nice vibe back from games that I played in my youth. I'm really enjoying this playthrough, and I hope you guys will join me later tonight for this as well. Again, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, retro throwback fun. It's really fun. I hope you guys will show up. And of course, one thing I do want to say, please support it as well. Because yes, I'm enjoying playing these throwback games, but I do need the support as well. And thank you to everyone who did support it last time I played it. Hopefully we can keep that up tonight. Okay? Cool. Shout out to Milos. I will shout out your tip when we get to the end of this podcast and I do the shout out segment. Okay. Tomorrow I'm off from streaming. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a way more laid-back day, just kind of relaxing with my family. I do have some errands I need to run. Not anything too exciting, but it'll be a more relaxing day for me at home. When I return on Wednesday, it'll be the continuation of, well, we have to talk about that. Am I continuing WWE or not? We'll talk about that in a moment. Because if I am, I'm going to do it on Wednesday as the main stream. And then Wednesday night will be more Uncharted 2. Thursday, the main stream will be Sniper Elite 5, a brand new release on Game Pass. It's coming out this coming Thursday. I'd like to give it a shot, play one stream of it, and see if you guys like it. If we like it and we want to continue it as a playthrough, we can find a way to eventually fit it into the rotating schedule, okay? But I just played Sniper Elite 4 a few months ago, and you guys didn't really like it. The feedback I got was, at first it's fun, but once you realize the entire game is just sneaking, it's not that fun and ends up being kind of boring. That kind of gameplay style for some people maybe is interesting, not for me, I guess. So what ended up happening was, after playing it for one major stream, people were like, nah, just drop it. So I did. So do I really feel that Sniper Elite 5 is going to be that much different from 4? No, I don't. I think it's going to be the same style of game. So I'm not really convinced that this is going to end up being such a great game, okay? But we'll see. We'll try it. We'll do one stream of it on Thursday, and we'll use that to try to judge if it's something you guys want to continue to see me play. And then Thursday night will likely be more Zelda. And then Friday, the main stream, again, kind of up in the air. It could be WWE or Skyrim. I'm not sure. Probably Skyrim. Friday night fights. Only 3 sessions left of the 30th anniversary collection of Street Fighter. After that, the game's retired and we play the new game, which I cannot wait for at this point. Yeah. So that's Friday. And then Saturday, something else interesting and different. On the late stream on Saturday, we're going to check out another new game coming out. It's called Pac-Man Museum Plus. It's another Game Pass game. What this is supposed to do is kind of show you the history of Pac-Man. So I guess it has like classic Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, Pac-Man Jr., and then apparently this also has a bunch of variations on the games and extra mini games and things thrown in. It'll be good, I feel, for a one-off late-night chill stream. I don't think this is something that would like garner any interest long-term unless you're like a hardcore Pac-Man fan. But let's check it out at least for one late-night chill stream, probably Saturday night, okay? So that's kind of the rough idea. Now, truth be told, there are no major new releases coming until June 10th. So, my streams will be a balance between all the stuff that I'm currently doing. Alright? Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the other elephant in the room outside of the gifted membership glitch from last night. Let's talk about the situation with WWE 2K22. Because we got to determine this morning if I continue this playthrough or not, and I absolutely need everyone's feedback on this, okay? So, first of all, let's talk about what's happened with the playthrough so far, how it's going, and, you know, basically how I'm seeing people receive it, I guess would be the proper word, right? Okay. Started off with WWE 2K22 last week. Immediately the stream gets taken down. Within like an hour, okay? Why? Because I was playing showcase mode. Now, let's clarify something. WWE 2K22 has a mode called Creator Mode that supposedly removes any issues you will have creating content with the game. Bullshit! It doesn't do anything at all besides mute a few songs. Like, everything is still in there. If you play Showcase Mode, there's still clips of matches in there. If you play the other modes, every logo, every video package, it's all still in there. The only thing it does is mute some of the music. That's it. So, I hate to say it, 2K Games pretending like they care about content creation of their game, it's a complete lie. The mode doesn't work at all because I have had nothing but problems with this game since I started playing it, okay? So, first of all, within an hour of me streaming the showcase mode, which is supposed to be the history of Rey Mysterio, my whole stream gets taken down, blocked, identified as having copywritten content from WWE. Well, I guess we're not going to be doing showcase mode. So everyone's telling me, Phil, everyone online played the My Rise mode. This is the mode where you make your own character and you go through their career. This is the mode that went virally popular months ago, and you should definitely do that. That's the one everyone wants to see. So we started it, and you start off in developmental, which means that you're not really on any show. It's called the Performance Center, and you do a few matches there. Then eventually you end up on a show, and I chose NXT, which is their developmental show. It's not really like a full-time live televised show. At least it wasn't at one point. It may be today. But basically NXT is where you go to get started, to learn your craft, right? Your first version of your characters, your first version of who you are in the ring with your movesets gets developed there. And then if you're lucky enough and if you're liked enough, they promote you to one of the main shows, either Raw or SmackDown. And now you're there for millions of viewers every week. And you're very different. Things change when you get to the main shows. Essentially, you change your character and a lot of stuff. Your name sometimes changes, okay? So there you go. Now, what happened in my playthrough was that as I was playing it, eventually I got to one of the main shows, SmackDown. So after playing this game for like 10 hours, I get to one of the main shows. Immediately when I get to one of the main shows, my video gets erroneously claimed, all right, on YouTube by a third-party company, not by WWE or by the game developer. Some third-party studio is claiming that I stole content from someone else's Let's Play of WWE 2K22. All right? Obviously, that's bullshit. Obviously, I'm not stealing content from someone else's fucking Let's Play. It's my own. And so, they blocked the goddamn video. This was part 10 of my WWE 2K22 My Rise playthrough. Blocked entirely. No one can see it. All right? So, by the way, want to know what was claimed? The animation of my created wrestler walking to the ring. It was like 20 seconds. Now, I had two options. Remove the 20 seconds of video and hope that then the content ID doesn't match the video again, or counterclaim it. in this case, I know this company doesn't have a leg to stand on with copyright law. I didn't steal their Let's Play. It was just misidentified. So I disputed it, and it should be cleared up. The problem is, when there's a company like this, just think about how asinine this is. We loaded in one of our clients' Let's Plays into YouTube to be content ID match. Like, how stupid can you be? Of course, there's going to be common things that it's going to find, like maybe a cutscene and shit. Can you imagine how many thousands of videos are misclaimed right now because of the actions of this dumb fuck company that doesn't understand DMCA law? Like, seriously, it's really, really stupid, and I can't believe that they get away with it. The problem with that is, since they misappropriated DMCA law the way that they did, they misapplied it here, okay? Do you really think that company is going to review all the false claims against them, review all the disputes they're getting, and release them? No. Here's what they're going to do. Sit and do nothing. So if they sit and do nothing and they get all these counterclaims, within 30 days, all the counterclaims get auto-granted. The problem is my video is still blocked for 30 freaking days. So even though I counterclaim these guys back on Saturday, it may be until next month, at the end of next month, that I'll finally get rights to my video back and be able to have it be visible on YouTube. By the way, I'm so angry about this, I spontaneously got a sunburn on my skin. I don't know if you saw that. I'm so upset that my skin actually changed 3 hues pinker. This camera is being very stupid recently. Oh, there we go. I'm going to turn this off for now. Anytime that like it gets brighter outside, this happens. So I'm going to turn off the auto white balance for now so I don't look like I'm going to explode. Okay. So, that's that. That video is now into the dispute process, and I probably have to wait a month for it to come back. So right now, if you're watching my WWE 2K22 My Rise playthrough, you can't watch part 10, and you probably won't be able to for another month. Is that stupid? Absolutely, yes, it is. It doesn't make any sense. It's a blatant abuse of copyright law. YouTube doesn't care. Okay. Now, yesterday, I play WWE 2K again. Another 3 hours of gameplay. All of them on SmackDown. So this is one of the major shows that WWE has on television, okay? I upload my videos. And as they upload, they go bing, 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 flag, flag, flag. Wait, what? Yes. So out of the 3 videos I uploaded yesterday, 2 of them have been flagged for content ID. They're not eligible for advertisements whatsoever, supposedly. And these 2 parts, part 12 and 13, have been blocked in certain countries. Okay? What countries and what's the deal? I have the data for you. You're going to get a good laugh out of this. You ready? So I opened up the data, and here's what it told me. All right? This is a typical example of what a YouTube screen looks like when you get a content ID match that's a complicated one. So first of all, if you look all the way to the left, it says your channel is not affected, which is good, because there's potential your channel could be affected with a full copyright strike. Thank God that didn't happen. Okay? Then, all right, so what's the effect on the video? Well, the video is partially blocked, meaning some people can watch it depending on where they live, and some people can't. Okay? All right. What criteria is used to judge that? Probably copyright law, but I wouldn't know. I'm not a lawyer. So, is it eligible for ads? Absolutely not. Completely ineligible worldwide. You will not make $1 on this video for any views you get on it. It's demonetized. Okay? So, what countries is it okay in? Well, you can watch it if you're in the United States, and as you can see, it even says that's about 60% of my viewing audience is in the U.S., so the majority of my viewers can watch the video if they want. Then you got the UK, you got Canada, and a few other common territories, you know, where the common views come from for any YouTube channel of content that's made for like an English-speaking audience. Then it lists the countries where it's blocked. Have you ever seen such a confusing mishmash of countries? I mean, we got Sri Lanka in there, Afghanistan. Like, why in particular would this video be blocked there, but not in the U.S. or other places? Like, that's confusing, right? That's really confusing. And of course, that is absolutely true. Someone just said you could just use a VPN. Correct. If you really want to watch my WWE playthrough and you live in India and you can't watch it because it got blocked in India, you can just use a VPN to change your IP address, and now you can watch it anyway. So this block makes no sense whatsoever regardless. It has no actual use. It's just a waste of everyone's time. but YouTube pretends like this is a valid system to use for copyright enforcement. It's not, okay? So this is what happened at first. So then I went deeper, and I said, I want to know why these two videos have this issue. What was identified in the video as copywritten content? I want to know how this happened, because this is a Let's Play. It should be protected under fair use law. So I delved deeper down the rabbit hole of content ID claims on YouTube, and here's what I found. Basically, YouTube is so stupid, okay? It believes that if you have anything in a video that says SmackDown, it thinks you're actually rebroadcasting the WWE show SmackDown. In fact, I don't know, I don't think it says it here. It basically matched this to an episode of SmackDown from like 2019 that apparently was loaded into Content ID on YouTube. So just think about this. I'm playing a game. The purpose of the game is to simulate WWE programming. So, of course, you're going to have the actual real shows of WWE in the game, SmackDown, Raw, or whatever. The logos, the animations for the shows are going to be in the game. They did it on purpose to make it realistic. They made it so realistic that YouTube's own Content ID system here doesn't know the difference between the video game and the actual television show, and it flags your game content as the actual television show. So it thinks I'm re-uploading SmackDown episodes, and therefore it blocks the video. Okay? So I said to myself, well, sometimes you get the option to remove the infringing content and then you can clear the whole issue up. So I'd like to do that. So I clicked on the option to remove, and here's what it gave me. It said, you have to remove 50 minutes out of your hour-long video. You have to trim your video from an hour to 10 minutes long for anyone to watch it on YouTube. So, obviously I said, no thanks, that doesn't really make much sense. Okay? I'm very upset about this, if you can't tell. So anyway, here's the deal and here's the problem. Alright? There is no way for me to protect myself against this. The good news is, it looks like I will not get any true copyright strikes. It looks like, at least the way WWE set up their Content ID system, they don't strike you. They just try to either block or outright prevent advertisements on videos that they feel are re-uploads of their television shows. Okay? Obviously, this is not the case. This is not what this is. But, again, I've said this a million times. YouTube's Content ID system is not sufficient to enforce any kind of copyright law. It does not properly identify anything. It's a poorly programmed, poorly coded, badly implemented system. The only reason it's on YouTube is to legally protect YouTube from being sued, because they were sued in the past by the music industry. The music industry said, you're just allowing anyone to make content with all the music and songs that we have rights to, and we get nothing for it. This is unacceptable, and they sued YouTube and won in court, and YouTube legally then had to create a system that they claimed was going to prevent said abuse in the future. What they came up with was this inept piece of shit. It's a garbage system that doesn't work, but they only had to do it because they were ordered by a court, and there's been no follow-up to make sure the system works, and there's no accountability for it. So the system literally on a daily basis is identifying thousands upon thousands upon thousands of videos erroneously, and then granting the rights to people who shouldn't have the rights, blocking videos that shouldn't be blocked, and no one does anything about it. They literally say, well, hands off, automated site, oh well. So, what do I do about WWE 2K22, my friends? We got to figure this out, all right? It appears that any time that I have a segment in the game that takes place on SmackDown, or Raw for that matter, because if it already is doing the same for episodes of SmackDown, you have to think it's going to do the same thing for Raw. It's going to think that when I'm on the Raw show, that Monday Night Raw is actually the real show from television, and it's going to claim and or have issues with that too, right? Right. I mean, it stands to reason it's going to have the same exact issue. No matter where I am on these shows, it's going to keep doing it. So, what do? I basically have 3 options, okay? Option number 1, we quit the playthrough. We say, listen, I tried, but these issues are not going to go away. We acknowledge the fact that YouTube's content ID system is broken and is not going to fix itself. And we say, to hell with it, let's do something different. What would we do different? I have absolutely no idea. Because right now, we're already in the midst of dead time. There's no new releases, as I said, of any high profile till June 10th. So if I drop WWE, I have no clue what we would do in its place. We'd have to discuss it and try to figure it out. I can tell you right now, Skyrim isn't doing well as a day stream. It's hard to retain viewership and even to get constant support for Skyrim because it's an older game. It's a game I played a lot in January, and then basically the playthrough's been going on for over 100 hours, and the interest has waned. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I can just say, oh, we'll just play Skyrim more. That's not going to work. We got to figure out something else. Now, what would I do? I don't know, because I've been asking for 2 weeks, what should we do? And there's been zero consensus. As happy as some people are to see me return to games like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Uncharted 2, some people are upset. He's not playing this particular game I wanted, or this particular game I wanted, even though they just don't understand that there's no consensus right now. They're a vocal minority. And there's no one saying, oh, this is the one game Phil should absolutely be playing because he skipped it. It's not the case at all. Okay? So, I don't know what I would do if I dropped WWE 2K. I'm just being honest. I have no idea what I would do if I dropped it. All right? Now, option number 2, okay, would be to continue to play the game, all right, and try to actually dispute everything. Say, fuck this broken-ass piece of shit system. I hate it. I'm tired of it. And I'm just going to dispute all the bullshit. Okay? Problem with that is, number 1, it puts me in the line of fire. All right? It does. When you dispute anything on YouTube, legally you're stating that you believe you're legally in the right. And if a company like WWE, all right, decides to, I don't want to say stick to their guns, but basically just be idiotic, which these companies have done in the past because they just don't understand copyright law. They're that stupid. And if they decide, in all their infinite wisdom, that they think that, no, I should not be having the right to use the footage from SmackDown and Raw that I'm not actually using in my video, but they're so dumb they think I am, they might actually try to do something against the channel. So allow me to explain. Right now, as I play the playthrough and I upload the videos, I'm good. Nothing's going to happen to DSPGaming as a result of me playing WWE 2K. The problem is you might see videos blocked, and I'm going to make no ad revenue on the playthrough. It's all going to get claimed and matched, and we're going to have these ongoing issues. To fix that, I can dispute those claims. But when I dispute a claim legally, I'm now putting myself in the line of fire legally. And if WWE comes back and says, no, we dispute the dispute, we're holding fast to our claim, we want to basically slam this channel, I might get a copyright strike. Okay? And if I get a copyright strike, that could completely screw everything up for me. Why? Because right now, kind of all my eggs are in one basket. I'm not using alternate channels. I'm not splitting my content. I'm not streaming on Twitch while I'm uploading here. It's all here on DSP Gaming. So this is a dangerous game that I'm playing anytime that I dispute any kind of a claim on YouTube. Because if a company like WWE that decides they don't understand copyright law and still wants to hit me, I could get copyright strikes on the channel, and now I can't make content because the channel's suspended and shut down. You see? That's not good. Now, by the way, I'm not saying that I would do that, and I'm not saying that I don't have backup plans if something happens. I do. I have alternates. I have things we can do. If this channel ever got suspended erroneously, I absolutely would have somewhere else to make content. Don't worry about that. We've got other avenues. I would just redirect you to the avenue you need to go to in order to continue to watch my content, okay? But is it really worth it? The third and final option, okay, would be to just carry on as I've been doing. Continue to play WWE 2K22, enjoy the streams, have good streams of it, attempt to upload the gameplay, and whatever happens, happens. If the gameplay goes live and you can all watch it, great. If the gameplay goes live and it gets claimed, oh well, I make no money on that video. If it gets claimed and partially blocked, oh well, people in those countries can't watch it. If it gets claimed and fully blocked, oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. You see? So it's kind of like I'm in a situation where, because it's a unique situation regarding misunderstanding of copyright law, I don't think the streaming audience would ever be affected. Like those of you who like watching the live streams and supporting the live streams, I think we could play this whole game in its entirety and it'll be fine. I really think it's the on-demand YouTube audience that's going to be affected. So for those of you who watch the podcast daily on demand, I need your feedback on this one. What do you want? Do you want me to continue to play the game? Do you like it to play through? I'll be honest with you guys, the on-demand views aren't great. They're pretty bad, actually. If you take a look, I'm barely pulling in between 300 to 500 views a video. So I'm barely making anything on the videos regardless on YouTube. It's not really, I don't know if it's really catching on as a playthrough. I think what's happened is people are realizing, oh, the fantasy sims Phil does are great. No shit. That's what I've always told you guys. The fantasy sims for me have always been the highlight of the WWE games. Yeah, there's a story mode and yeah, there's a career mode, but usually those peter out and get boring after a while. It's really the fantasy matches that I bring back from time to time that really gets the interest of my viewing audience, you see? So, the fantasy matches, as long as I'm not using SmackDown and Raw clips and shit, should be fine. I could always do a, over-the-top battle royal style fight, or, just use kind of a fantasy arena. I should be okay in that regard then, all right? So, I'll tell you what, out of the three options, there's one I'm just absolutely not willing to do, and that's, I can't counterclaim everything. I can't put this channel at risk, because a company like WWE might be dumb and not realize what they're doing is legally wrong, and then try to strike my channel. I just don't want that to happen. I can't take that risk, okay? So I'll tell you that one's off the table, all right? So it's one of two options. Either I quit the whole playthrough entirely right now, cold turkey, and now we got to figure out something else to take up the time on stream, because right now I got nothing for daytime streams. Or I keep playing it as is, and the issues are issues, and there's nothing I can do about them. I apologize to the on-demand audience on YouTube. I can't stop YouTube's content ID system from being a piece of broken garbage that doesn't work. And if that means that you can't see the videos, I can't fix that. At best, all right, at best, I just won't make any money on the videos, okay? In which case, you guys are well aware there's other ways you can support this channel, whether that be tipping me or, coming to a stream and every once in a while dropping some support in the form of a super chat or a membership or a gifted membership or whatever it may be. Those are other ways you can support the channel, you see? So it's not like, oh, there's nothing I can do. I like the WWE playthrough, but I know Phil's not getting anything out of it. There's nothing we can do. No, there's plenty of ways you can still support the channel, and the business is not world ending. And by the way, I'm in a situation now where my income is diversified enough that having a playthrough like this make no money is not a huge deal. If you remember, I opted in the fall to not have music. Well, excuse me, let's try this again. I opted in the fall to have music in all of my Grand Theft Auto playthroughs, as well as other games that were going on at the time, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Those playthroughs absolutely were better because of the music, but I made zero ad revenue on them, and I lost a bunch of ad revenue at a time when ad revenue was sky high on YouTube. Usually what happens that time of year is I see a sharp increase in income for ad revenue. Mine plateaued because everyone else was getting extra and I wasn't getting any ads because I had that licensed music in my videos. So, what do? It's between quit the entire playthrough, but if I quit it, what do I do to fill the gap? Because I have nothing until June 10th. I literally wasn't planning for this. I don't know what else I would do to fill the gap until June 10th. Or we just keep going business as usual and we ignore the nonsense and, hey, I'm sorry if you can't watch the videos on demand. Now, I will say this, because this absolutely is the determining factor for me, okay? When I stream this game live, viewership is usually good. The engagement is usually really good, meaning we have a lot of fun conversation about wrestling and the like. And admittedly, this is definitely a factor. The streams usually do well contributions-wise. We streamed WWE yesterday, and we hit the vest goal. Yeah. I wore a vest yesterday. We hit the goal. Okay? So, you see, like, it happens. I'm not saying it happens every day, by the way. It does not. Absolutely, positively, it does not always happen. But sometimes there's good support for it. You see? So it's kind of like, I feel like there is a live streaming audience for it that want to see it continue. Although I know there will be disappointed people who want to watch it on demand. They might not be able to. I'm on the fence about this one. Here's the thing. Here's really why I'm on the fence about it, okay? I am having fun playing it, and if I drop it, I do not immediately have a good answer for what should replace it. If we were in a situation where I had like 4 other games waiting to be played, and they were all interesting games, and I wanted to jump right into them at any moment that I had an opportunity, and you guys were asking for them, and we had this consensus, right? Then I would say, okay, let's just drop it and jump right into something else. We've got other things to do. In this case, we really don't have other notable things to do. I'm just being honest. Like, anything we attempted to do would be a shot in the dark. Like, for example, let's try Bassmaster. Right? Let's do the Lost Judgment DLC. I don't know if that would get any traction, right? Or do another one. Let's do a random Game Pass game. Let's try Hollow Knight. Let's try this. Let's try that. And it's funny because all of you right now in chat who are saying you should drop the game are all, drop the game. But then you immediately all mentioned a different game to play to replace it. Just listen to this. Super Mario Brothers 2. I'm going to scroll up a bit because there was a ton of them. Okay? Age of Empires. Wrestling Empire. Grand Theft Auto 5. Dying Light 2. Play Weird West on Game Pass. I'm not making this up. This is my chat right now. Okay? That's what I mean. Like, it's the situation where if you quit it, there's no consensus on what to do in place of it. And when there's no consensus, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have people, number one, who are upset that I just quit WWE in general. They're going to be angry because they were liking the playthrough. Then you're going to have people who are happy that I quit it, and then when I don't play a game that they want, they're going to be upset, and they're going to say, and they're going to leave. You see what I'm saying? Like right now, there's no consensus on any of it. So, again, if there was, everyone says, you should just do this certain game. Someone just said Batman Arkham Asylum. That'll be fun. That's a game I haven't played since launch. I never replayed it. I own it in a collection, right? But, again, there's no consensus, right? So, with no consensus, I can't figure this out what to do. The Forest. Randy Disher wants to see The Forest. It's almost like the old saying. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Either way I go here, there's going to be a negative trade-off. If I keep playing WWE, right, there's potential for future problems on YouTube. I don't think I'm going to get any copyright strikes, but it could be an almost unwatchable playthrough on demand for many people. However, the streaming viewers might be happy and keep supporting the playthrough, in which case, I guess it's all good. Or I could quit it, but now there's no definitive answer of what to play immediately. And no matter what I choose, there's going to be people who are upset. You see? It's kind of like I'm setting myself up for failure here. Shit. I just played an entire song refrain on my calf. That's how confused I am. That's a real word, confused. It's a combination of confused and disgusted. I made it up, but it is a real word for me. Confused. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to think about it, all right? And I want your feedback over the course of today. Please give me your feedback of what you would like to happen, all right? And based on your feedback, that'll help convince me. But here's the deal. There's a difference between useful feedback and useless feedback. Here's an example of useful feedback. Please drop the game because I'd really like to see you play this instead. here's useless feedback. Just drop the game. That doesn't help. You didn't give an alternative or a suggestion of what I should do in place of it. I'm just gonna, what am I gonna do? Drop it, and then here's our first stream on Wednesday. There you go. That could be an entire stream. Because I have nothing to play. You see? So, we'll talk about it today. Please give me your ideas. And let's try to figure this out together. And I will make a determination essentially during my day off. What I might do is by the end of tomorrow, post up both on Twitter and on my channel page here on DSPGaming and let you guys know what I think I want to do. All right? Right now, I'm strongly considering just continuing it and seeing what happens. Because like I said, the streams have been fun. The attendance on the streams is usually good. The engagement is usually good. And I've gotten good support. So it's kind of like everything you want out of a good stream is there. Excuse me. But, yeah, I am concerned about the whole on-demand half of it. Okay? So let's think about it. If you're going to say, hey, drop the game, fine, thank you for that opinion, but then please suggest something to replace it with. And suggesting a game that's already been shot down, like Evil Dead, is a waste of your time. 3 people in chat just said Evil Dead. We didn't play it on purpose. We didn't play Evil Dead a week to a week and a half ago because we figured it didn't fit my content style. It's the same style of game as Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight with a few improvements and tweaks. It's a multiplayer game. It's not designed to be single player. It's repetitive. It's something that would be good for one stream, and then there's no point in playing it again. Why the fuck would I get Evil Dead when we've already written it off as not making any sense for my content? Why would you even suggest it? Seriously. Okay. So, that's the dilemma, all right? Well, give me your feedback today. We'll try to figure it out, all right? So depending on what we determine, there may be more WWE on Wednesday, or we may be trying to do something different. I don't even know what it would be. I have no idea at this point, okay? Okay, without further ado, I think we should do shout-outs. Now, just so everyone knows, from what I can see, no one has attempted to gift any memberships during this pre-stream. So we still have no idea if they work or not. I mean, no one did, right? I should actually clear the air about that. Did anyone attempt to gift memberships during the pre-stream? Because I don't think anyone did. I didn't see any pop-up or anything. So we still don't know if they work or not. If and when someone attempts to gift some memberships today, I guess we'll see if they work or not. Okay? All right. So let's do shout-outs. Our first shout-out is on the YouTube side, and it's actually from Big Papa Pump, who re-upped his membership for 2 months. He said, Evil Dead's a fantastic game, and it's $40, not $60. That's great. It doesn't fit my content style. We've already talked about this till I'm blue in the face. I'm not playing it, but thank you for re-upping your membership. I appreciate that. Okay. On the tips side of things, we have several different tips. Our first tip actually was overnight. It was a $1.50 tip by Slayer. Okay? And he says, did I ever contact the YouTuber from the YouTube channels that he recommended? No. I did not contact. First of all, the first YouTuber I'm not going to contact, that was a channel he had recommended to react to. That was basically a bunch of facts, but the videos are quite short, but it's just a bunch of facts thrown at you. And it's not necessarily, I think, anything that would be fun to react to. It's more informative, and I would like to watch those videos to learn, but not to react to. The second channel that he suggested is a channel where the guy covers a lot of, like, it's almost like, you ever seen the show Unsolved Mysteries? Think of it that way. Like, oh, mysterious happenings happen, and they're documented legally that they did happen, but no one can explain what really happened. And they're kind of fun to watch, and I feel like reacting to that would be quite interesting, because I'd be able to add some takes or things, you know, my personal opinion on it, or what really happened there, or maybe do use guessing of what's really going on. I think that could be pretty fun to react to. But admittedly, I have not contacted the guy yet. I, you know, have been busy, and I watched the video. I was like, oh, it's a good video. And then I never really reached out. I did reach out to June the King, who is the person who does a bunch of documentaries. So that way, if I do another documentary style react, it's not just down the rabbit hole videos that I'm reacting to. And he did give me permission to react to his stuff. So that I can do at any time I want. But I probably should do this. So what I'll do is when I get a moment, maybe tomorrow is my day off, maybe I'll go back to that channel and I'll see what his business contacts are, because I want to reach him, in a proper manner. I don't want to spam the guy in a place where he's not going to see it. I actually want to reach out to him from, like a business perspective, and see if he'll let me do it, because I think that would be good variety of stuff. Me watching just a variety of video like that, I think would be good. Now, also, he says, did you get to read comments that I posted on a PreStream podcast and the WWE videos? I definitely saw at least one of the comments, and I approved it. I don't know if I saw all of it. I mean, I should have, because I check my comments frequently. Like every day, several times, I'm checking my comments to make sure that I'm approving the comments, so that people, feel like their comments are being seen and read, because they deserve that. But I'm trying to see here. Let's see. You know what I really wish would happen? I wish you could search by user in the app. You can't. There's no option to do that. Because I would like to search for Slayer and say, oh, here's Slayer's comments. Did I approve them? Did I not approve them? There's no way to do that in the app right now. From what I can see, you can only look for certain criteria, like certain filters. And you can't search for specific terms, which kind of sucks. Yeah. So anyway, all I can say is, to my knowledge, Slayer, yes, I probably saw your comments. Do I remember them off the top of my head? No, I do not. But I do my best to approve all comments, and if there's something that's like a direct question that I feel like I can answer intelligently, I'll respond to it. But I don't think that there was anything like that there. I don't think so. Thank you for the tip overnight. It was a $1.50 tip overnight. First tip of today's live stream is from Milos, who tipped me $20, and he says, relax and play the games, nerd. How dare you call me a nerd? You know what's funny is, when I was much younger, okay, I was known as a nerd. For sure. When I was in school, like elementary school, high school, everyone called me a nerd. Even though I didn't really look like a nerd. I mean, I was into comic books. I was into video games. I was into things that back then a lot of people considered very nerdy. They weren't mainstream. You were a nerd if you liked that stuff. I was top of my class in all of my classes at the time. So I was a nerd, right? But what's funny is you guys don't think of me like that, do you? I don't, right? Most people don't think of Darkside Phil as that nerdy guy on the internet. You think like the angry video game nerd is the nerdy guy on the internet. No one really kind of says that about me anymore. And I don't know what changed. Maybe it's my appearance. Maybe somehow you look at me like he's, maybe I don't know. It's weird that someone just called me a nerd. And I'm like, I was absolutely positively when I was young, I was always called a nerd. And then at some point in my life, it just stopped. And I don't know when that happened. Maybe it was just when the things changed. Like, for example, when attitudes started changing towards things like comic books, video games, and they became mainstream in the last 15 years, maybe that's when everyone's attitude changed. In reality, if we were still judging people by the same criteria as like the 80s and 90s, like most people would be nerds. Because most people are into the things that were considered nerdy back then. Roadblock said the entire world became nerdier. You don't look as nerdy in comparison anymore. Oh, Kagome says, I thought you had a story about Activision. I do, but it's not a big story. The people of Raven Software, the QA testers, there's like 25 of them or whatever. They're finally doing their vote on a union today. And if it goes through, and they actually do form a union, this is the first union ever in gaming. And people feel like this could be the first step towards other game developer groups forming their own unions, which is good because Activision really has abused the shit out of its employees. It's been documented historically. It's happened. And they actually keep campaigning for their employees not to form a union because they're so afraid of it. So obviously, abusive employer abuses employees, doesn't want them to stick up for themselves. You root for the little guy, right? There's the story, but it hasn't happened yet, so we don't really have anything else to talk about there. Okay. All right. Are we good there? Thank you, Milos, for the first tip of the day, $20. I really appreciate that. Snow Carl to the $1.50 and says, considering there's no anticipated releases on the horizon, we'll essentially have a full summer of retro and old games. It's not true. There's actually a lot of games coming out in June we'll be checking out. Would you like to know what it is? Hold on. So just in June, we have the following. Mario Strikers Battle League, The Quarry, the launch of PS Plus Premium, where we'll be investigating and seeing what games are under it and likely trying out some of the games and services. Sonic Origins, the Capcom Fighting Collection, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, and Cuphead The Delicious Last Course. We actually have a very busy June. It's actually right now that's very dead until about June 10th, and then things pick up in a big way for the rest of the month. Okay? But anyway, I understand what Snowcrawl's saying. He says, do you have a plan to keep the audience engaged? Do you have a map and list of games that you're considering? I just gave you all the ones in June that are going to keep us busy. And here's the thing. In early June is Summer Games Fest, plus other big digital conferences from Sony and Microsoft. We are going to learn about a tremendous amount of games in the next month. And I guarantee you we're going to have all these dates now announced, and we're going to have game after game. We're going to have a big roadmap for the rest of the year. The problem is they're all been holding off because this is kind of E3 time, even though there's no E3 anymore. We've been all waiting. It's coming. It's literally coming. We're going to get a big drop of information very soon. We just have to get there, okay? Okay. Gazlioni Malyashin. Sorry I butchered your name, but it's a really weird one. To the $1.50 and says, have you tried playing Kingdom Hearts? I almost say Kingdom Hearts. Have you tried playing Kingdom Come Deliverance? I know it's a long RPG. You're almost done with Skyrim. It might be fun. I have zero interest in it. When it came out, people were interested in it. And then after that, within a month, no one talked about it. Every once in a while, someone comes back and asks me to play it. And I say, I'm not interested in it because I'm not interested in it. Thank you for the tip. Big Papa Pump tipped me $2. Said, I played Evil Dead. I thought it was fun. I didn't know you decided before not to play it. I'm sorry. I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you, Big Papa Pump, for the $2 tip. And then he did another $2 tip. And he says, on mobile, you cannot gift any memberships. I've noticed that. YouTube can't get anything right. Yes, on mobile, you cannot gift them, but apparently you can accept them. Apparently, you do have to be on the full desktop version of YouTube right now in order to gift memberships. That is correct. It sounds like Big Papa Pump was actually trying to do it on mobile and it didn't work. Because again, I don't know if they're working or not. We won't know until someone tries to give some today. If someone tries to give some today, that'll be the test. But right now, we can't test it. Okay? Okay. All right. So, ladies and gents, we covered everything. It's time for us to do some Q&A, shall we? So let's do some open Q&A and allow us to have fun with it. So anyone, you have a question for me, please tag me in the stream chat, and I will, I'll talk to you. Ms. Deagle says, what stream is set for Link to the Past plays? You mean tonight? Tonight's stream. Tonight's late stream, 6:45 p.m. is the next Link to the Past stream. 672 is here. And he says, how about starting to replay certain games with viewers? You can charge people tips to play with you. I don't know why you've been holding back. You're missing out on a lot of money and content. I have no idea what you're talking about. First of all, if you give me an example, that's number one. Number two, I am not feeling cool about charging people to play with me. That does not sound right, because that's just going to open a whole new can of worms. People being disappointed with the experience they get, opening it to trolling. There's a reason why I don't do a lot of multiplayer games, right? Trolling. These idiots will come and just try to ruin it, and for everyone. Now, imagine someone pays to be a part of that experience, but then there's 5 assholes who pay to ruin it. So the one person who wants a good experience can't get it. It's just a lot of bad issues that you open yourself up to with that kind of shit, you see? Okay. Am I going to play Multiverses when the open beta comes out? Yes. But it's not out yet. It's supposed to be later this summer. Why don't I give subs to see if it works? I can't. The content creator is not allowed to give subs to their own channel. That feature does not exist. Right now, I have no option to do super chat, super sticker, gifted membership. It doesn't exist for the content creator. It's not in the chat. That only exists for you guys. I wouldn't even be able to try it. It doesn't happen. It's not like Twitch. I guess on Twitch you can. You can't do that here. Yeah. My voice feels like sounds like it's going a bit. It's the same as usual. You know, I've been talking for about an hour and a half. It tends to wear out a little bit after a podcast, but I think I'm cool. I think I'm good. Big Papa Pump just attempted to gift 5 memberships. Let's see if it works. It looks like it's working because John Fonz just got one. Podder just got one. Eternal just got one. Ultrasonic Assquake got one. And Jake the Cake God just got one. So congratulations to you 5. And apparently it works. So thank you very much, Big Papa Pump, for the gifted memberships. We'll check and see what we're at right now. It looks like we're at a new record. But then that begs the question, what the hell happened last night? Why didn't it work? Okay. Let's see what we're at. Thank you so much for the support, Big Papa Pump. Again, this is beta. We are the testers of this product. We are literally the people who test. We're at 526, so we went up by 4. I guess 1 had expired during the stream, so there you go. Ultrasonic Assquake says, yesterday I did opt in, but I didn't get one last night, but now I'm opted in and I got one. See, weird. I have no clue what happened then. Well, there's no commonality between what happened now and last night. I guess we have to look at this closely and try to analyze and see. All right? So thank you, Big Papa Pump. And congratulations to the 5 people who just got gifted memberships. 526 is now our new record. Kyle Denson just did a super chat saying it would be fun to watch you and Kat play Cuphead DLC live, but I know it'll never happen. First of all, I have absolutely no idea if she'd be interested. That game is really tough. Like, the only reason I feel that I was able to have such a good time with it is because I used to play games like that all the time back in the day. So I have a little bit of patience and knowledge about it, but for the common person, that game kicked their ass. Like, everyone said, wow, that was one of the harder games that had come out that year. Was it 2016? Excuse me. But, you know, we all know the story about Kat, and, you know, she's not part of my business. She's not a part of my content. That, you know, there's been many years since she appeared in anything, and there's no signs of that changing. It's up to her, but there's no signs that she wants to. So, there you go. Okay? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to end the pre-stream. Do you want to know why we're going to end the pre-stream? Because I got to take a shit. So we're going to end the pre-stream. I'm going to take that shit. And I'm going to be back in a few minutes, and we're going to start up with a chill Skyrim stream. What we're going to do is we're going to interact and have fun. So don't worry. I know some people have more questions for me. Ask them during the Skyrim stream because I want to answer your questions, but I really got to use the bathroom. So I'll be back shortly, guys. Thank you. See you in a sec.